Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. And if you're wondering what you can eat on a high-fat diet, well, you came to the right video, so keep watching. In this video, we'll talk about the history of fat and why it has been demonized for the past 70 years. And then we'll go through, well, what are the benefits of a high-fat lifestyle? And last, we'll cover how fat fits into the Code Red lifestyle. So when you guys hear the word fat, a lot of you guys have this visceral reaction. Like, you are thinking fat and you're thinking that's bad. And a lot of times you're comparing the fat in an avocado or a piece of bacon to the fat on your hips or thighs. It's simply not true. I don't want you to have that belief when it comes to fat. Adipose tissue is not the same as an avocado, okay? It's not the same as bacon. It's not the same as coconut oil. It's not the same as butter. I want to make sure that you get this through your head so that you don't have that reaction whenever you hear the word fat with regard to diet and whenever you think about fat. So how did fat get to be so demonized in our society, especially for the older generations? Let me take you back to the 1950s. Our president at the time had a heart attack, and we started thinking about coronary artery disease and atherosclerosis and what caused this. Well, nobody brought up the fact that the president was a chain smoker, a sugar addict, and was obese. So they quickly started scrambling and trying to figure out, well, what's going on? What's going on? There were studies that were coming out about sugar. John Yudkin in 1957 published this paper about sugar and the damage it was doing on our bodies and how it was feeding into disease and feeding into cancer and aging the organs. Well, the sugar industry did not like that and didn't want that information getting out. So they paid Ancel Keys, I believe it was $250,000. That was a lot of money. It's a lot of money now. It was really a lot of money back in the 50s to cover up that research and to instead blame fat for what sugar did. He did this study, but didn't report the findings correctly. He basically lied. He cherry-picked the findings to support his hypothesis that fat was the problem. Fat was to be demonized. And of course, Americans, we love to have an enemy. We deploy all of our soldiers. We go all in. We don't do anything halfway. And Ancel Keys went to our government and convinced our government that fat was the problem. And we immediately started to think, we got to turn to low fat. We got to do fat free. We got to do non-fat. And that's what Americans immediately did. And man, companies were all too happy to abide by this new thought process that fat was the problem. They started taking fat out of foods, and what happened? The foods tasted like absolute cardboard. They were nasty. So the food manufacturers knew this. They knew they weren't going to sell any food if it didn't taste good, and they started adding sugar and carbs back in. So if you look at, I don't know, fat-free Snackwell cookies compared to the regular Snackwell cookies, you'll see that there is no fat in them. Yeah, totally. But there are loads of carbs and sugar in the fat-free ones. And that is how Americans started becoming the sickest and the fattest in human history. Because when we take fat out of foods, we leave us starving. We're hungry because we don't have anything to make us feel full. The food manufacturers knew this. They started loading down the sugar and carbs to make it to where people would buy it. The problem was, after we started implementing this whole fat-free, non-fat, low-fat kind of a thing, people started getting sicker and fatter. Nobody was connecting it to sugar because the industry was covering that up. And coronary artery disease started going up, atherosclerosis started going up, cholesterol buildup in the blood started going up, we started prescribing more cholesterol meds, we started prescribing more statins, and obesity was going through the roof. And it has been on that steady incline for the past 70 years. It has only been recently, since the keto diet started coming out, that we have begun to understand that fat is not the problem. That fat has been blamed for what sugar has done. Sugar causes the inflammation. Sugar is causing the problems with the buildup in the cells called atherosclerosis, the hardening of the arteries and the clogging of the arteries. And fat is not bad unless you have high blood sugar. So in the presence of high blood sugar, LDL particles become sticky and they stick to the arterial wall, causing a blockage. but it wouldn't be happening if there was no sugar involved. Problem is, when you're eating French toast plus syrup plus some bacon, you got yourself a mess. You might have somebody in your life who is hung up on, I can't have any fat in my diet, I can't have any fat in my diet. If you know someone like that and you're always butting heads with them, listen, don't do the butting, let me do the butting. Share this video with them. Maybe they'll come to know the truth about fat. So yeah, share the video. What are the benefits of a high-fat diet? All right, high fat is gonna help you feel full, satiated for a long amount of time. It's gonna give you energy. It's gonna help your hair and nails grow. It's gonna nourish your cells. It's gonna help balance and regulate hormones. It's gonna help you sleep better. It's gonna help all areas of your life. You just feel so much better on a high-fat diet. Listen, you give me 2 eggs and 3 pieces of bacon, I'm not gonna be hungry for 7 hours. You notice that? You notice when you eat a high-fat meal, you ain't hungry for a while. You don't even have to worry about eating for a long time. High-fat diet is absolutely incredible. And when I say high-fat, I'm not talking about the keto high-fat, the 75%. I believe that on the Code Red lifestyle, when we bring your fat down to 60% of your calories coming from fat, that allows the other room in your diet for the other aspects that we believe is a healthy diet and the variety that you need. So some people might worry about, well, what about the types of fat, the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated and saturated? Listen, don't concern yourself with all the different types of fat. Eat real food, which means if you're having a 10-ounce ribeye steak at Texas Roadhouse and it's got a little gristle on the side, you just need to eat the whole thing, gristle and all. Like, don't worry about the types of fat. I say, if you're worried about the types of fat, stay away from the seed oils and the vegetable oils. Those are not good quality. Those are highly inflammatory in the body. But you don't have to worry about that if you're just eating real food, if you're eating the meat, the vegetables, the nuts, eggs, seed, the seafoods, and the fat. If you're having avocados, there's nothing more glorious than an avocado. There's nothing more glorious than sticking a big pat of butter on your vegetables. There's nothing more glorious than having sausage made from a pig. Oh, breakfast sausage. Man, I love me some breakfast sausage. Don't be afraid of fat. Don't try to make this more complicated than it is. And for the love of the Lord, don't remove the yolk from the egg. There are so many vitamins and nutrients and minerals in the egg yolk. You just took that egg yolk out? Why? Because it has cholesterol? You need cholesterol in your body. You need cholesterol to make every single hormone in the human body. Cholesterol is not bad, okay? A buildup of cholesterol is bad. And when we look at metabolic markers of health, the only thing you need to worry about is making sure your triglycerides are under 150, okay? I've got a little tip for you about coffee. Yeah, we drink coffee on the Code Red Lifestyle, and anybody that knows me and follows me on Instagram, you know I love my coffee. Well, what do you put in your coffee? Some people say half and half, but I'm wondering why you're putting half and half in your coffee, because you're gonna need twice as much to do the trick. So we suggest, instead of the half and half, go for a full-fat heavy cream or a whipping cream. That's not gonna have any carbs or sugar like they have in half and half. And it's gonna be rich and creamy, and you're only gonna need a small amount. So definitely go for the heavy cream instead of half and half. And I know I tell you in other videos, don't do dairy, but listen, this is the one exception. I do allow people to have a small amount of heavy cream in their coffee. On the 10-pound takedown challenge, I'm gonna take an entire day where I come live to you and I'm gonna teach you just about fat. We're gonna go through in detail the truth about fat, the history of fat, kind of like what I talked to you on this video, but in much more in depth. And you're gonna understand the nature of the trap. You're gonna now understand why you were taught wrong. You're gonna understand how the industry-driven food pyramid was wrong, the government guidelines were wrong. I'm gonna prove it to you, along with so many things I'm gonna teach you. So click the link below, join the next 10-pound takedown challenge, and I'll see you on the next video.